For this piece, it's going to get a bit complicated, and I'd like to show you the crux of my argument, why I think people, have gotten things wrong. And I'm going to use Matthew 5:17 to 32 as a clear example. Most of you are aware of this because you've probably heard this many times in church, where a pastor will sermonize about Matthew 17 and then pick verses from Galatians and Romans in order to shore up their topical discussion of why the law is gone. Here's what Matthew 5:17 says: "Do not think I came to abolish the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish, but to fulfill." This sentence alone has the correct answer in it if you want to see it. Jesus did not come to abolish God's instructions to man. He says it himself. We get twisted and focused on the last piece, but to fulfill. This is where most pastors will say Jesus fulfilled the law and therefore the law is no more. Jesus as a person was and is the only human that could possibly fulfill the law. He is perfect. He fulfills it in himself. He does not abolish it. But let's move on. Let's look at verse 18, which states that heaven and earth has to pass away before the smallest dot or letter passes, and all must be accomplished first. Here again, with the addition at the end of the sentence, all must be accomplished first, it obscures, much like fulfill did. I'd ask, has heaven and earth passed? Case is closed. No. Therefore, not all has been accomplished. But there's more, because we move to verse 19. Jesus says, "Anyone who breaks the smallest law and teaches others to do so will be called least in the kingdom." We can have a whole nother discussion on what least in the kingdom means. But let's move on. It seems that Jesus is advocating for observing and teaching the law. But he doesn't stop there. We can say case closed again, but he doesn't stop there. He continues to say, "Anyone who keeps them and teaches others to do so will be called great in the kingdom of heaven." Again, what does all that mean, least and great? I don't know, but the point is that one beats the other. Not teaching the law, you're least. Not keeping it, you're least. Teaching others to do so and keeping it, you're the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Again, case closed. Jesus did not abolish the law. But wait, there's more. Let's look at verses 21 all the way through. And I'm not going to read them, and I don't need to. But if you will read them, you'll see why. It's clear as a bell. Jesus enforces the law of murder, adultery, and divorce. He not only does he enforce it, but he actually adds to it in a way. He says, if you have ill will in your mind, you've already committed murder, and he tells you what you need to do. You need to go get rid of that. If you have lust in your mind, you've already committed adultery. Why is that? Because these are emotions, and emotions lead to desires, and desires can lead to actions. So by having anger and hatred for somebody could lead to murder. Having lust in your mind and in your heart for somebody else could lead to actions. Divorce, of course, and he changes that. He doesn't add, he actually gets rid of the ability to divorce people except for under the case of sexual immorality. So he strengthens these laws. He not only enforces them, but he strengthens them. And that's what we have to understand. We would have to get into a lengthy discussion about the word law and salvation and Jews and the early Greek fathers to ferret out all this and to answer the question why Gentile believers came to the point of what's called antinomianism. That means against the law. For now, I'd like you to read Matthew 17 to the end in context and kind of decide and tell me what you think it says for yourself, not just what I think it says. Anyway, I hope you'll do that and then consider my words as you read it and determine for yourself, is what I'm telling you correct about what I read? Because the book should talk to you. Don't listen to pastors, Sunday school teachers, and Bible study leaders. Read the word for yourself. Let the word speak for itself. That's called exegesis. And don't read into it what you want to read into it. Let the text talk to you. I hope God will guide you, and I hope the Spirit will guide you in doing so. And I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you again.